Hey guys, today we're crafting. Sure, we'll be using glitter. Maybe we'll do some painting. Do these colors suit me? Should we do some pop art? I don't know what we're gonna craft today, but let's get started. This is a member shout out for Misty's Mountain. Thanks so much for being a member. So we're making another critter, whatever you want to call it today. So we're just going to use all recycled stuff, except we have paint, of course, and I have this, which I like to put different things around the bottom. These I get at the Dollar Tree. They have all different designs. And this I'm going to glue it around the bottom, and then we're going to paint our can. Okay, so I just hot glued it around the bottom, but it would be better if you can find like Crazy Glue, Fix-All, or something like that. Um, it would stay better. And now we're just going to find a cover for the top. So I just took a bigger can top and just cut it a little around the side so it fits, because of course the small ones would go right through that came off of it. And that was it. So we got a lid on there. Now, if that's difficult, what you would do is get one of a bigger lid that you open the can with, and you would turn this can upside down, put it on top of the lid, and then you'd have a little bigger base, and it would be fine. I've done that before. This is just a little easier. It works a little better, but either way is fine. And then we're going to make our head. So now to make the head, which is going to stand up like that, is I just put two together. That was it. And bent the bottom of the one over the other. Super simple. It already has the eyes and the nose ready for you once we paint it to where we're going to put the eyes and the nose. But first, don't glue it on here until you paint it. Believe me, because it's going to be difficult to paint this whole thing then. Now, before we start painting the top, the ears are super simple. The pop tops you took off of the two, you're going to put on there. However you like them, a little sideways, however, and we're going to glue them on there. I already glued one. Super simple. Glue strings. Okay, so there's our ears. And the reason why I tell you to put this stuff on before is because any glue that shows once you paint it, it will not be noticeable. And guys, I decided to put on his eyes and his nose. These are just beads. And the nose one, I'd put the beads this way so you could put his whiskers, and the eyes you can put like that. And because when I paint it all, I want it to be all cohesively painted, so I figured I'd put them on now. So your first coat of paint is like a primer. So I use my regular chalk paint and sheepskin to cover it, because we're going to do blue and brown to make it look old. So this is just really, because you can get in all these little creases, just cover as much as you can. And so the other paint sticks better. Now over our white, I'm just going to go lightly with the blue. All right, so now we got the blue. Once that dries, we're going to go in with the brown and then probably some rub and buff. But right now, this has to dry. While that's all drying, we can make the arms. So you just find what bead you want for the top. If there's one that has like a flat part to it, that's the one I usually use for the top. This one kind of has a flat part. Because that can go against the can. Anyway, you put two together. One on top of each other with the hole on top and on the bottom. And to cover the hole, I have a brad. And I just put some glue in the hole, the top hole. and stick the brad right inside. And then that's what that looks like. So we'll do that, make 2 of these. Now for the next part, this one I put a brad. You can put them however you like, but this one I'm going to put it sideways, the bottom one, so that they can hold something. So, and this is just your preference of however you want the bead to sit when you put it. So I just kind of angle it a little bit. And the next one is then angled just a little more. So that we could put like a flower or something in the hand. So it will be one side open and one side we're going to put a brad. Just a little glue there and stick in the brad. And you're all set there. That will go on the inside. And then on the outside, we're going to put something in the hand. You can put a flower, you can put a lollipop, whatever you want. But that's how our little hands are going to go. And so that's the hands. And then we might as well make the tail while we're going at this. Now we're going to paint these. But again, start with the same thing. A brad, 2 beads, straight. But the rest we're going to make like a tail, so we got to put it outwards. So sideways. And what I do, because I'm going to put them sideways, is I fill the bead with hot glue only so that when we paint it, there is not holes. Yeah, that's it. So when it dries, you don't have to worry. You paint over it. You don't have that big hole. You don't have to put a whole bunch of paint. And then we're just putting the next one that way. So you see how it's on a tilt. The next one is kind of going to face a little down. So it's going to be a little off-centered. So now you have that, which is a little off-centered. And now we're going to put a little bead. We're just going to fill that hole. And right on top, we're going to put a little bead. And that's going to be our tail. I know it looks crazy right now because it's not painted, but once you paint it, it will look like a tail. I have one I did before. And so it looks like a tail. There you go. So far, so good. So now, before we go any further, I glued everything on when the paint dried, because what's going to happen is when we do the brown and everything, you won't get it even. And I just added a little blue to the arms to make sure they matched, and a little more blue to the tail. And that's what we got. We got the tail on and the head. Oh, and what I forgot to tell you is you're going to need a bead, a nut, something to put behind the head so it's more secure and it stays up. I just used a bead that I painted, and that was it. So now that we got this, when that fully dries, we're going to dab it with the brown. Alright, so now we dabbed on the brown paint. I put a little heart on there. It's a little crystal heart so that I could dab it on so it won't look so, you know, hearty. Because he's supposed to be rusty, so the heart has a little red showing, but mostly it's covered, so I thought that was cute. And we got to put his feet on, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so for the feet, I actually need 3 beads. 1 in the back near their tail and 2 in the front so it will stand, which is why I didn't paint the bottom. Because once this really dries good, I will lay it on its side, paint the bottom, and let that dry. We're going to probably put on his feet these guys as his shoes. So we'll get 2 of those. There is his feet. Put on a generous amount of hot glue on the bottom so these feetsies stay. So now I just put blue. I didn't put any white on the bottom. And once that dries, of course, we might need a little more blue and some brown. And then we'll probably put some more brown, like darker brown in some places. And then we'll just decorate after that. Okay, so the only thing I did was put a little flower. I didn't use a fabric flower because this is for someone, and I know she's not big on dust, but I did have to put a fabric bow. But I made the bow look a little dirty, any old way, and I put one of these. Boop. Got to do the whiskers. And so the whiskers, we're going to put in the holes of the bead, remember? And then I think we're going to give it some black and silver rub and buff. All right, there is the whiskers. And now we're just going to put a little rub and buff, do some maintenance, a little silver and a little black rub and buff. And then we should be all done, and I'll show you what that looks like after we rub a little on. There she is, all done in all her glory. She's really cute. I just rubbed on some rub and buff on the flower, and I put a little glitter glue on the leaves just so, you know, it would have a little sparkle. And I forgot to tell you, over the holes of the eyes, I just put 2 little crystals, and that was it, guys. These came out super consistent. This is the 3rd mouse I made, and then I made one lioness, and adorable. So try them if you're crafty and you like to do recycled projects. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Big shout out again to Misty's Mountain for becoming a member. And thank you all for watching. And we'll see you on the next Crafting with Chris.